Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to City Skylines Parklife. I certainly hope you're having a wonderful day, because I'm certainly excited to be back in the beautiful city of Nerdcrest, where things, as always, are going very well indeed. We are currently sitting on a ridiculous amount of money, $2.4 million, making $17,000 per week. We have a population of almost 35,000 people, which is kind of neat because at 36,000 people, we will unlock monuments and the international airport. Now, speaking of airports, I mentioned last time that we might be doing the airport this episode. We're not going to be doing that. We are going to be doing something different. This area down here, I think it needs a little something. I think it needs a little bit of work, and I think it's going to be really good to get this area built up so that we can have some buildings on either side of the highway here. Now, speaking of the highway, there is something I want to do first, which is sort of try and fix this mess back here. So we're going to use some lane management to try and do that. We're going to say you guys can only go there, and you guys can only go there. And then we're going to use something that I discovered recently thanks to, I believe, a comment on the previous episode, which is that if you select a node on a road and do Control S, I believe, Shift S, I do apologize, Shift S, it will force the traffic to go straight on. You don't have to individually do each lane to do this. So I can go along here, I can click nice and easily, do Shift S the entire way, and it's going to force all of the traffic to stay in lane until it gets to a point where it can actually merge, which is going to be, I guess, right there. Except we'll not let them merge there. What we'll do is say that they can merge one lane in this particular spot, so they can merge across like that if they want to, and they can go from the middle lane to either lane. So they have to get in lane at this point and then stay going straight for a little bit. And then they can get in lane again just up here. Now, what that'll do is just sort of force the traffic to get onto this section of highway rather than backing up crazily onto this one and onto that one as well. We are still going to have those tailbacks. They are still going to exist. They're just going to be on this bit rather than the bit of highway that we can't do anything with, which I think I would prefer over, the mess that we had. So that's the plan there. And like I said, the plan today is going to be to do something kind of interesting with this area down here. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and get started. First things first, first thing I want to do is I want to select all of the nodes along this road. And I'm going to try and, what is this? Export, import. You can export a selection into a file, import it later in the game or the editor. That's really neat. Okay, did not know that. Hold Alt to deselect objects. Okay, so we want to use the marquee real quick, and all I want are the nodes here. So all I want are the traffic, the road nodes all the way to about that point. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to significantly lower all of that road. And I mean fairly significantly lower it down to about there. So that'll be perfectly fine. I think what we'll do is maybe select those ones as well and say go to the same height. Obviously, looks a little bit ridiculous right now. That's totally fine though, because we are going to be doing something to fix that very shortly. So first things first here, actually, before we even get to the first things first, we need to lower that one as well. So first things first, I want to bring a road across here. So we are going to probably want to turn off our guidelines, and we're going to want to go to about there, and then we're going to want to go over to about there. And we're going to have to do this like that because we can't put pillars between these highways just yet. So we're going to have to be very careful. And we'll go 20 that way. So that's going to be bridge number 1. If anything, it's kind of tempting to put a few more lanes onto that, just so the bridge is a little bit more chunky. That might not be a terrible idea to just have that bridge be a little bit more chunky. We could even go one step further and say, let's do that kind of thing, but that looks a little bit ridiculous, to be completely honest. So that's maybe not something we want to do. We could go asymmetrical. That's always an option. So, you know, 2 lanes going that way, 4 coming down this way, or whatever. We could have 4 lanes going that way instead. But I think we'll maybe just simplify it a little bit and maybe just go with the standard. I really wish we could get rid of that decorative piece there. That'd be really good, but I don't think that's going to happen. So let's just do our usual. Let's put a little bit of grass. Actually, let's not do any grass on those bits. So that'll be fine. That's going to be bridge number 1. And I say bridge number 1 because there are going to be a bunch of other bridges. So we're going to have one here, which is going to go over to that point and then go 20 to there. Then we're going to skip a road. We're going to go and do exactly the same thing and go 20 to there. Skip another road, do exactly the same thing and go 20. And then skip another road, do exactly the same thing and go the remaining 20. So we have 5 bridges crossing that entire area, which I think is going to be a good thing. If anything, it's actually quite tempting to adjust this one so it's on more of an angle. I think that might look a little bit better. So something like that, and then 20 again. Yeah, I think that looks a lot better. I think I realize I've also used the asymmetrical road. Didn't really mean to do that. So let's just change that out for the standard 6 lane there. Which is, yeah, that bit's going to be interesting to work with. That's all I'm going to say on that. That little bit there is going to be very interesting to work with. Can we maybe just adjust that slightly? So that section, or that bit, is going to be the same height as that bit? Yeah, that seems better. That seems a lot better. Okay, so what we can do here is we can go around and we can actually start raising up these sections of road. And we can find a good height that'll work beneath the bridges. And honestly, I don't want it to be super, super low down there. So we'll select these chunks of road and we'll say, go to the same height as that. And honestly, I think even that is a little bit too low. I definitely think that's a little bit too... Let me get the traffic back on those roads real quick. Because I want to get a truck underneath those bridges. So I can actually see what height we're dealing with here. So if I select these nodes here, that tractor is underneath there. I think, honestly, even that, you know, it's a sunken highway, but it's not super, super far beneath everything. So we'll select all the rest of these and raise those up to the same height. And I think that's going to be pretty good. I think that'll definitely do the job. It's also going to mean that the slopes up to the rest of the highway aren't going to be super far down either. So we want to select there. And I think that looks really good. I don't think the trucks are clipping. They might be a little bit. There is a way to find out. We can go like way, way down in there with the, not that button. That was the wrong button completely. We can go sort of down in there with the low FOV. And we can sort of see if the truck clips. I think it does actually. Maybe like just, yeah, some of them do clip. Okay, that's fine. We can lower the entire highway just ever so slightly to make sure that doesn't happen. Okay, there we go. It's all been lowered a little bit and ever so slightly adjusted just so that all the vehicles can actually get under there. And I think it looks pretty good. Traffic is going to flow along that really, really nicely. And I think what we're also going to want to do is make sure we can get buildings along this as well. So what I want to do, I think, is use this grass-lined road and just go like this the entire way across so that we actually have buildings pretty much right against the highway there. And I think that's going to look really good. So let's see. I guess like that. Bit of a weird angle, but it'll work. As for here, we want to go to that point. And we want to go like that. And again, I think that'll just fill in really nicely. It means that we'll have buildings on either side looking pretty good. I could definitely have done like keys or walls or something like that there, but I'm not going to stress too much about it. I mean, we could have a quick look and see what fences would do if they were raised up, but I doubt that they're going to do what I want them to do. So say we grab this fence, we grab the nodes on either end. What does raising that do? Literally nothing. You can't raise it. Well, that's fine. I know there are some other mods that would let me do that. There's like retaining walls and stuff like that. I might look into them, but I don't think it's a super high priority. That'll work though. That will 100% work. And what I want to do is I want to bring this large road here. And I want to, for one, do that and then do this so people don't park on it. And we're basically going to bring it straight down through this entire area. So down to about that point. And I think that'll work. I do think that'll work. And I think what we can even do with it is have one of the highway exits be on this. Although before we get to that, I actually want to just raise up the highways ever so slightly. So let's say if that's 10, that's 11, that's 12 there. So just line those up. And then what we can do is that and that. And change those into highways. Because I want these highways to go up and through the entire area. Kind of similar to what we've done over at this end. It's just going to be a way for traffic to get in here and easily move around. Although what I'm thinking, honestly, is that we bring the highway exit off of here. So raise that up to 12, bring it across to there-ish, and try and just get a really nice curve here. Although I kind of need to change the angle slightly. So something like that. I think that'll work. I think that'll be good. So that's going to be the exit for the area. If you want to get straight onto the highway, or if you want to go straight to the northern parts of the city, that road I think is going to be really, really useful. And then what we can do is, I don't know, keep angle on for a second, go to there, and maybe just try and get this to follow the same kind of curve. So, oh, that auto saving. Every time the game auto saves, I slightly freak out. I always think it's crashing, and I always really, well, no one likes game crashes. I really don't like them because I get a little salty. Mostly because I remember when I would do Let's Builds, for example, I remember a lot of game crashes. I remember an awful lot of game crashes, and they ain't fun, is what I'll say. They really aren't fun to deal with at all. So let's just hope that the game doesn't crash. Otherwise, I'm going to get very, very salty. Anyway, let's see if we can get just a nice little curve in here. This probably isn't an ideal location for an entrance to the area, but I think we can make it work and maybe try and branch off of the highway like over here and go that way as well. So we might try and have two sort of entrances to this particular district or whatever we're calling it. But for the time being, let's just upgrade that to the 3-lane road. Actually, let's downgrade it to the 2-lane road. It doesn't need to have all those lanes. Not really. Although I think I'll keep the 3 up until the road just so it looks, sort of looks the part. So that'll work. Traffic can get on the highway and go wherever it needs to go. And I think what we need to do is down by the beach for one, I kind of want to have some really nice housing down here. And I'm thinking that I kind of want to use the large avenue with grass. I don't know why. I just kind of do. It's not great for traffic, to be completely honest. Like, it's probably terrible for traffic, but I really like it. So, I don't know. I think we might use that. And what I'm thinking as well is if we keep that as grass lined. Now, that's only going to let one bit of traffic go to the left there, though. Yeah, I don't know how well that's going to work. I'll be honest. I don't know. I don't know how well that's going to work. Maybe what we want to do is say that we have 2 lanes there. And then 2 lanes there. And if we do a little bit of traffic management, we can have, well, I guess technically we don't need 2 lanes. We don't need 3 lanes there either. But I guess what we do is we have one go left, we have one go straight on. We have one go right and one go straight on. And I guess, yeah, I guess this whole thing, this could be asymmetrical, really. But I think what we'll do is just have that go the whole way up to there. Just really because I can. There's not really any other reason to it. So you can go there and not there. I guess you can go to the middle lane. And you can also go straight on. I really like this road. I really like this road, and I don't use it often enough. So I want to use it, and I want it to be my road that sort of goes along the beach down here. So that's kind of what we're doing, because I want to get some really nice residential zoning in here, especially along a beach. I have this thing. I like residential zoning on beaches. So like that, and let's say like this as well. Down to by that point. And let's see if I can maybe just tidy that up slightly. So this needs to go like that. I think that works. Yeah, I think that works. We can maybe just continue this road down a little bit further to there. We can try and get a nice angle going like that. Maybe turn off the guidelines so it doesn't go weird. And then do some kind of little district there, something in there. I think that'll look really good though. And it means I can connect all of these roads straight down and through at some point as well, which I absolutely want to do. So you go to there, and you are going to need to curve kind of suddenly up like that. And then go straight on. So all the way up to there. All right. So I think that's a good outline. I think this road here might need to be a little bit further down or smoothed out a little bit. But I think that'll be a good outline. We'll continue these roads straight down and through as we've been meaning to do. Although some of them are probably going to misbehave a little bit, but that's all right. These go straight down to there. This one's going to be a bit weird to deal with. So I think what we'll do on that is just bring it off of there and have those just sort of meet each other there. And then have a curve. Okay, so this might look like a mess. It might look like a mess. That's probably because it is a bit of a mess. But with that said, I kind of like it. I kind of like the messy look that we got going on here. I'm not really sure why, because it's probably terrible for traffic, but I kind of like it. So we're going to roll with this for the time being, and we're going to see what exactly we can do with it and where exactly we can take it. I do want to do one thing first, though, and that's I want to try and get that second entrance to the area. And I'd originally planned on maybe trying to have it be down here, but there's so many connections to that road along the coast there that I think the better way to do it, well, of course, the space is already occupied there. Let's see. Take you out and then bring this straight across to there. I think the better way to do it might be to try and get a connection over here. Now, I can't do this without anarchy, unfortunately, but I can do it, which is good. So we're gonna try and go like this, and then I can't really go straight to that corner, but I can go. Well, let's try this without a highway road for a second. So basically like that. Now, obviously, that's gonna be interesting to deal with. That's gonna be it's a fair amount of traffic's gonna be in that little area, I reckon. But I think that'll be okay. Although I do think we need to measure the distance here. So that's 219. Oh boy. All right, let's try something else here. Let's cut this in half real quick. Let's see. Can I go? I can't really go from there. All right. Let's try this then. So that's going to go 10 and down a little bit, and 10 and down the rest of the way, and then go straight to there. And that's going to mean that the slope is that little bit smoother, and I think that looks a little bit better. Although it probably wouldn't hurt to try and get the slope to sort of meet the corner there, but I think that's fine. I think that'll work. As for over here, I'm not really sure what we're going to do. Possibly that. Flip it, and then try curving it. So something a bit like that. I think that works. Might need to adjust it ever so slightly. But I think that'll do it. That actually looks pretty good to me. Traffic's actually going around that at a good speed. It looks like a good intersection, so we'll see if that ends up working out. This over here is probably a little excessive. I think what I'm going to do is just change that. Actually, no, I kind of like that road. I kind of like it there, even though we can't really zone on one side of it. I like that we have that road going through the entire area as well. Goes the entire way along that road, except for here, because that would have been just a little bit too much. But I think that's fine, and I think that'll work. So let's get to the next part of this, which is going to be putting in things like hospitals and services and all that. Because I think we could put a hospital here, and that kind of puts it on its own road that I think that's a good idea. But I also kind of want to do parking lots, just back there a little bit. I just want to make it look like the area, you know, is supposed to have a hospital. So maybe even just that. And then some parking lots in here as well. It'd be nice if we could get more in, but I think even that's fine if we take these two out. I think that works. And then what we could do is put like a small park into this little space, or just something to make it look like the hospital is, you know, has some parking around it. I think that's kind of important. So let's try. I wish you could put these at the end of a road, like right on the end of a road would be a really good spot for these. Let's try just doing a little park beside the hospital, I guess. We can go ahead and just expand the park area ever so slightly onto these roads. So it's literally just going to be that small. It's not going to be anything big at all. So there to there, we can get some pathways in as well if we really want to, and I do 100% want to. So something like that gives us a little bit of a connection to the road there. I'm going to try and move that in just to be a little more central, and I wonder if I could move you to there. Yeah, that actually looks kind of neat to me. I like that. I do like that. Although maybe if we lower it, it's going to look a little better. Maybe not. Maybe not at all better. That's fine. Probably does need a little bit of a gap there. So just something like that to make it look like it connects directly to the road, which obviously it does. And then over here, we could maybe just do another entrance, I guess. And it's not a huge park. It's really not supposed to be a huge park either. So that's fine. That is totally fine. Let's turn off the grid snapping for a second. I realize that we may need to change the way that works now that I think about it. So that parking lot can probably go. And what we'll do is just put another park entrance there, or even there instead. And we'll just connect those together. Otherwise, the park would have worked really weirdly there, and I think people can get into it without paying, which I'm not necessarily going to make them pay to go in here anyway, but if I decide to, I don't want people to be able to get in for free. So let's just connect you up. Let's run you to that corner and to there. And then maybe adjust that corner because it's not quite where I want it to be. So just grab the... It's there somewhere. I can grab that node. There it is. Just like that. Then connect these two together, and that's pretty much our little park. Just got to turn on guidelines, go to there, and go to there. And that works. That totally works. It's a little messy looking, but it'll do. Then back here is just going to be... I was going to say buildings, but I realized we're going to have a bit of a gap there, so... It'll be something. It'll definitely be something, but that's going to be our hospital, and that's fine. When it comes to fire coverage, I'm thinking we put a fire station... I think there, maybe? Could be a good spot, so sort of right on that road. Then policing, we're going to just put over, I think, there. So they're relatively close to some main roads. They'll provide good coverage to the entire area. And I think that's all we need. So as one final touch, what I want to do is go ahead and turn off the road guidelines. And I just want to try and bring this fence along the back of these parking lots. And that does mess with the zoning a little bit, but that's kind of okay. That is kind of okay. Because it nicely borders them, which is what we're going for. So yeah, that's all right. We can make that work. That's going to be our hospital. And I like it. Let's start the zoning process. So what I'm thinking we'll do is the main roads are all going to have offices on them. So I think every little stretch down here is going to be made up of offices. And we're probably going to try and do some IT clusters in here. And I think what we'll do is also have that road along there. Because I guess technically that road is a main one, even if it's only 2 lanes. And then all of these little buildings are going to be offices as well. I don't know what's going to go on with this road. We are going to need to work on that. But for the time being, it'll do as is. This is not technically a main road, so that's just going to be tidied up a little bit. So all the main roads, like I said, going to be things like IT clusters and going to be really, really tall buildings, because I think that's going to be important to make this area look the way I want it to look, which is like sort of a nice big downtown area with people living in it and with shopping options. That's pretty much exactly what it's going to be. So let's fill all of that out. Let's fill all of this out, and then we can go in and start looking at some different zoning for the rest of it. So that's all gone. Let's see here. I reckon in these areas can be some commercial buildings just sort of surrounding the hospital. And I think some of these areas can be commercial as well, surrounding the fire station and the police station as well. And we could probably throw a little bit more commercial into some of these areas over here as well, near the highways. But the rest of that, I think, is going to be residential. I think we're just going to have people living in the rest of this space. And obviously, it's not going to fill up immediately, and we do still need to put pipes in as well. But I'm actually kind of excited to see if this whole thing works. Because it's not tested. I haven't really run the simulation at all to see how much traffic might flow around here. So actually, let's not zone over there since that area is nowhere near finished. But all of this space in the middle, every bit of that can be filled up a little bit. Everything along here can be filled up, and everything in here can be filled up as well. And I think that's everything. All right, so let's get the pipes in. I'm gonna go back to one of my old tactics of just following the roads, which I haven't done in a while. So let's just see if I can get this to line up with the grid. So just like that, under that road, and all the way down to the main avenue. We are going to go under this road as well, and all the way down to the main avenue. Same story here, and all the way down to the main avenue. And the same story just in here as well, and all the way down to the main avenue. And we're pretty much going to just rinse and repeat that same process over and over and over again. Although maybe here could be a little different, I guess. I don't know. What pattern do I want to go with these roads? Or these pipes? I guess this way. And again, all the way down to the avenue. That does give us a bit of a weird spot in the middle, though. So I guess we could go like this. And let's see if I can just maybe turn off the road guidelines to let this snap properly. Across to... No, not like that. Not like that. Needs to be all neat. Across to there. And we'll also go across there just to fill up that little space. We do have one little bit in there not covered, but that's totally fine. Over here, we need to go about there. And that can run up to there. And just once again down to that main avenue. And we'll just connect all of that together. I could swear I hear some like clicking from my microphone. If that's picking up in the recording, I do apologize. I think one of my audio interface things is potentially breaking. So I'll probably need to replace that sooner than later. Otherwise, we're going to have a lot of clicking on the microphone. But there we go. That's all been laid out. I think the only bit we need to do now is this bit over here, just to make sure that's all covered. So there we go. The water's in. The power connection should be fine once things start to build. I do probably want to look at getting some schools in here as well, so let's actually see about that. I think I'll play around with the community schools and things like that, though, so we'll do a community school. I'm kind of thinking we'll do 2 of them like that, just back to back, so there's good elementary coverage. I'm thinking we'll get an Institute of Creative Arts in here as well, just so we can have some high school coverage, and I guess it can go over here somewhere. Maybe there with some parking lots behind it, because why not? So 1 and 2, I guess, and we'll leave that weird bit at the back. That's fine. Can we just change the heights of the roads there to make that all a little more even? Because it does look a little bit strange, I think. So all to that height. And maybe you to that height as well. There we go. That looks better. Just flattens out the parking lots, makes them look proper. So that'll be a little bit of high school coverage. I think we do need another one, though. And apparently I can... No, I can't do that. This bit blocks it, and that bit blocks it. I realize I have got Road Anarchy on, and that's why I can do that. I was just hopeful that it wasn't going to be all weird looking, but apparently it is. But that's okay. Let's get a little bit of path just in here. Like that. And then maybe just shift it across a little bit. And maybe just change it to a normal path, because I think that one looks a bit weird. So there we go. We'll shift that over ever so slightly, and we can also just D-zone that bit. Alright, so those will provide education. The hospital, fire station, and police will provide emergency services. I think we could maybe do with 1 or 2 parks in here as well, just to make sure that people actually kind of like the area. So we've got this spot here, which doesn't let a park fit into it, which is great. We have this spot right here, though, which I think looks much better, so we'll do that. And also fill all this up again. There we go. So that'll be a little park. We could maybe do with 1 or 2 more, and also do with fixing the zoning just here. So there we go, and there we go. We could maybe try getting something in there. Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea, just to improve the quality of this area. And maybe we'll just bring a little path off the back of it to connect through there. I know it's basically a playground that we've got there. Or no, it's just plazas. That's actually perfect. That is actually perfect for the area. Okay. Let's see it build. Let's get things in here. We've got the houses. We've got some of the shops going up. We are going to need that power connection. We're also going to need more power. So let's see what we could do there. Obviously, we have a bit of industry here and a bit of industry up here. So I guess what we do is maybe just go for... I'd love to go for an updraft tower. But I think it's a bit much. Let's just go for the oil for the time being. We'll just get another one of those in, and I think that will more or less provide the electricity that we need. It's not quite there. I guess we could throw another one in. So we'll just do that. We'll get another one in to provide all that power. There is a bit of a fire going on over here on the mountain, which is just great. Gotta love that. But this actually looks the part. This, I think, will look really, really good when it builds. It's just, you know, gonna take a bit of time. And also the fact that we aren't making we're not making much money. We started on like 17,000, didn't we? 17,000 per week, and we're down to 2.5. I guess it's fair to say I spent a lot in this area. But it is building, and it's very close to giving us a connection for the power there. So we should, soon enough, see a decent number of people actually wanting to go into this area. And I'm also thinking it might be a good idea to say that you exclusively go to the right. I don't know what way that's going to be set up, so we'll make sure it's set up that way. And then we'll just shift S the entire way along here so that this road is going to be, you know, no lane changes, basically. And then I think the same with this one as well. So basically you get in lane Oh, did that truck just floated across there? Well, that was interesting. Let's say that you kind of stay in lane for a bit as well. Now, you can go like that. You can go to any lane, and you can go to the right lane. And then we'll just sort of shift S again the whole way along that section of road. Just so that traffic actually stays where it's supposed to stay. So we'll do that, and then what we'll do is have you go to there, you go to there, and you will stay left. And they are going to need to be able to... Well, yeah, they are going to need to be able to merge, aren't they? They are 100% going to need to be able to merge. So let's say this will be a merging point for all of the traffic. And we'll go a little further back and say that this will also be a merging point for all of the traffic. There we go. All right, so that'll let them get into whatever lane they need to be in. Hopefully that'll flow well for them as well. And I'm kind of liking that they do have to get in lane here. So there shouldn't be any merging traffic on those two sections of road, which is perfect. Also, this entire area looks like it has power as well, which is also perfect. I'm just really, at this point, I'm really excited to see this bit build up. I think that's going to look really, really good. I also think it might be worth tearing out all of this and changing it into offices. Because then we get those proper high rises. Also, seems like we might be having a death wave, and also, this isn't connected. There we go. I should probably mention why that wasn't connected. I changed some of the roads in the middle of the city. I don't think I mentioned that, but I changed some of the roads so that there are one or two fewer intersections along one or two sections of rather large road. So hopefully that'll tidy things up a little bit. And hopefully we'll see traffic move a little better in there. But it's gonna be a while, I think, before we start seeing a lot of improvements with traffic, because I think it's gonna be necessary to look at some good public transport, which, as we all know, I'm not spectacular with. If these districts could just work for me, that'd be great. There we go. So bring that all the way around, stay neat on the road, and let's just start filling up the middle bit. Bring it all the way over to here as well. And then through to all of here, and fill up the middle a little bit as well. But yeah, I think we are going to need a fairly solid public transport system. I think what we'll probably end up doing is looking at metro lines, if anything. Because they always work out for me, I've noticed. Metro lines always seem to go my way. They don't necessarily reduce all of the traffic, I'll be honest, but they always seem like they do a relatively good job. They at least let people move around, and I think that's kind of got to be our priority. We just got to get people moving, even if traffic does still stay a bit crazy. So the good news is the area is completely connected, has power, has water, is building, and is starting to look exactly the way I want it to, which is bunch of tall buildings, bunch of smaller buildings. Moving across the city, you can see that there's a similar cluster over here. That's, of course, around the park currently, which again, I think just looks pretty neat like that. So we're going to have these two large clusters of buildings sort of separated by the lower stuff in the middle. So from a distance, you sort of see like a bunch of tall buildings, bunch of small buildings, bunch of really tall buildings. I'm also thinking that this road here can actually serve a greater purpose, which sounds a lot more dramatic than it is. But what I mean is if we can turn this entire road, which currently we cannot because it, you know, there's pillars. But if we can turn that entire road into an avenue, I can then go ahead and turn that entire road into a bridge. And you might be thinking to yourself, hold on a minute, bridge to what / where? Well, cast your mind back a little bit. Just a teensy little bit. And you might remember, I had the idea of putting a concert area out on that island. Well, more specifically, that island. But right now we don't have any way to get a bridge out there. So I think this right here could be a really, really interesting area for like concerts, basically. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have the makings, or at least the foundations of, a concert area just out on this island. So let's see if we can maybe just get this bridge to be the right height. So we'll go like that. We'll go the whole way across to there. And then we'll go like that. Now that does unfortunately slope up a little bit, which I'm not a huge fan of. So maybe what we could do is try and get the whole thing to be the same height as the highway bridge. That's a bit weird having those two bridges going at slightly different angles, isn't it? Would it maybe be better to have it run parallel to the highway? Nah, you know what? I think it's fine. Let's just select all these nodes and have it be the same height as the highway. And yes, my voice is not doing so well today. Just before we start seeing 1,000,001 comments about my voice cracks. Those happen frequently. And they're probably going to happen for the rest of my life, which is going to be great. I'm going to be in some super important business meeting 50 years old, and I'm going to be like, yes, well, I understand. It's going to be great. Yes, I've been in the business for 50 years. Yeah, I was in the business since I was, born, basically. But I think that works. I think that's a good looking bridge. Might be worth swapping it out for something that's not going to give us the archways, though. Although that gives us some nicer archways, so I think we'll go with that. I think that looks quite neat. Yeah, I actually much prefer that one. It's a little more subtle in comparison to the grand bridge that we have here. Speaking of which, and speaking of grand bridges, I want to level all of these nodes just so the bridge is at exactly the same height the whole way across, because it isn't right now. I think the one on the right is... it's a little lower there, so I just want to make it perfect. This Move It really is, on some levels, the worst thing I could have ever discovered in this game. Because it's just, like, it's got me to the point where I'm like, you know what? I think this could look a little bit better. And it doesn't need to look a lot better. Like, you're never really going to notice that the bridge isn't 100% level. But then I draw attention to it. I'm like, oh, the bridge isn't 100% level. Let's fix that. I feel like that's why I get nothing done, almost. Like, we do things. We built all of this, and that's still building. But you know what I mean? By nothing done, we could get so much more done if it wasn't for Move It. And I'm kind of okay with that. I'm kind of okay with the idea of not getting a lot done because of Move It, because then I can make things look pretty. And I like that. Also just going to smooth out all that part of the island, just so we have some smoother land to work with. And I guess we should have a little look and see what we can do with the concert areas. So this is the actual festival area. This is a media broadcast building, and we've already got the music club. We need the festival area to build the fan zone park. So I guess we'll try it. I guess we'll just give this a quick shot and see what the festival area looks like. And then what we can do is next episode actually, you know, see if we can make it look nice. So festival area there. You've got your main stage. There are no upgrades. There's obviously no water. And then you have the fan zone park. What is the fan zone park? It's got like, I guess it's like you can watch from there. People who don't fit in the festival area or who prefer to follow the concert further away. Oh, interesting. Okay. So let's put like a couple of those down. Just to make it look like the... oh, you can only have one? Really? Well, that's a shame. Okay, this festival area is a little bit weird. It's not anywhere near as big as I thought it would be. And I can only have one festival area, unless I guess I upgrade this at some point and that does something to it. Ad campaign, premium studio. That's fine. Artist, popularity that, tickets that. Okay, so they're the artists. Security budget's going to be 2,000. And change festival area color. What does changing the color do? Change the stage? It does change the stage. Well, well, well. The stage is going to be orange. Can I change anything here? No. All right, so we have those. And I guess that's sort of going to be our festival area. I'm kind of tempted to say it should almost be on a dirt road, because it's kind of fitting for the look, but then you have that concrete there, so maybe just a 2-lane plain street. Yeah, I think that works. We'll sort of go for the kind of plain street looking thing there. So it's obviously an area that is used a lot for the festival, but isn't used often enough to warrant the main roads or something like that. I don't know. That kind of works though. I guess what we'll do is we'll continue this road straight through to here. We can put some buildings or something back there. Maybe put the media broadcast thing back there. But I want to connect this to the avenue. So we'll run this out and do that. And I think that looks good. And what we'll also do is run this all the way to there and like that. That does not look good at all. So that's going to run out to there. There we go. So I think that works. I think that'll do for the time being. It's nothing particularly special, and I really want to do a bit more work with it. But right now, I think that's fine. And that's all it needs to be. Because I need to figure out how the festival thing works before we can do a whole lot with it. And that's kind of going to be, I think, what we'll do, what I'll probably end up doing between episodes, honestly, is figure out how the festival works. Because like I said, I have no idea. But the good news is it has water. When it comes to power, I'm not really sure there. I kind of like the idea of a wind turbine, but that would be super loud, wouldn't it? Although I guess it's kind of cool. It almost matches the festival vibe in a way. It's like, yeah, it's completely renewable, etc., etc. So maybe that works, maybe it doesn't. Again, I think we'll come back to that. Let's just lower the brush strength and take a bunch of these trees out. Because I want it to be a fairly open area, and I think I'm realizing what we could totally do with these open spaces is parking lots. Because of course we will. I mean, it's a festival, so it having parking lots kind of makes sense. So we'll do that, and we'll do that. And we can just sort of double up on a whole shed load of parking. Speaking of festivals, I'm pretty sure Download Festival is like really, really soon. I really want to go to Download Festival sometime. I know that I'm sure a lot of you don't know what Download Festival is actually. It's a rock and metal festival in the UK. I think there's one in Spain as well. I really, really want to go to it sometime. I say this almost yearly at this point that I want to go to Download Festival, and I never do. I have yet to actually go, which is frustrating, but one day I'll go, I'll take a camera, I'll make a video out of it. I'll totally get that video copyright claimed because it's a metal festival. But you know what? It'll be worth it, because I'm pretty sure I've been saying I want to go to Download Festival since for about the last 10 years, I think. I think since I was about 14, maybe 15, which, again, will be 10 years ago in November. That's a scary thought. I turned 25 in November. That's a scary thought. But there we go. There's our festival. There's our festival, and I think it looks good. Although I think the ground needs to be a bit flatter. So let's just try leveling everything here. Can I just select all the nodes? We just use the marquee tool to select all of those nodes and say raise them to the height of that one. Yeah, that kind of works. Let's do buildings as well, because I think that's technically, yeah. So all of that, and then raise all of that to that height. Or don't. Interesting. Select it all again. Raise it all to that height. Sure, that works. Let's see if we can just flatten the land a little bit here as well. There we go. So that's fixing the parking lots, which is kind of what I wanted to do with that. So parking lots have been sort of leveled. That's weird looking. There we go. So level them all out like that, and level that out a little bit. And then we'll just smooth in here to make that look a little more natural. There we go. So the festival is pretty much on this like raised bit of land. Doesn't look super realistic, but does the job. I want to see people go to it. That's really all I want. I'm also slightly annoyed that they're parking on those roads. Let's just fix that. So vehicle restrictions. Let's see. That's not actually what I want. I want to turn off parking on all of the roads here. So turn it off on all of those. And all of those. Turn it off on those sections. Turn it off on those sections. Those ones and those ones. And turn it off on all of this as well. They can park on the main road because there's actual parking areas there. But, oh, hello. We're apparently a megalopolis. Okay. I'll take it. I'll totally take it. So they're parking in the parking lots. They're going to the fan area. Some of them are at the festival site itself. We have a concert coming up on the 18th of the 1st, which is just over a month. And then apparently in August, which is a bit of a distance away. But sure, that's fine. I don't know what any of these upgrades do. 90,000, we need 6 concerts, good popularity. I have no idea how that works, but that's totally fine. So the ticket prices are there, people are showing up to the festival. There's actually a decent amount of traffic coming over there as well, which is pretty cool to see. Speaking of traffic, how's this whole area flowing? Is it, it seems like it's working for the most part. It's also filling up really nicely. The park is on fire, though. Typical. That's just typical. What about this? Oh, that looks cool. That looks exactly the way I wanted it to. Really, really happy about that. I do want to take out some of these smaller commercial buildings, though. Gonna replace those with offices. Just so we can really, really get that high-rise look the whole way down. Just the whole way down here is going to be nothing but high-rises. And I'm so excited for it. I'm really, really keen to see that whole area just working. Again, obviously need to finish this bit and probably do some stuff up there, but that's come together really nicely. As for the festival, though, looks like people are gathering. The festival is going to be in 2 days. It's going to be in 1 day. So let's just have a little look. So the festival is supposed to be... No, the 18th. Not the... It's the 10th of the 8th. It's the 18th of the 1st, so... We'll see how this works out. I've never played with City Skylines concerts before, so... I'm actually kind of keen to see how it works. That's a lot of traffic. I didn't realize how much traffic this would pull out. It reminds me a lot of the festival stuff you could do in, not the festival, the concert stuff you could do in SimCity 2013. Because every time you would do those concerts, so many people would come to the concert hall, but your city would make so much money. Hey, there we go. Oh, that looks really cool. That looks really, look at that, look at that. So what guitars we got? That's obviously the bass. We got someone singing drums. We got that's a Les Paul. That's actually really, really cool. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to leave it there for today. I'm really pleased with that. Just before we do, I'm going to grab a screenshot because I don't know if it's actually going to, I don't know how long the festival lasts, and I think that's a video thumbnail right there. If I ever did see one. That is a video thumbnail right there if I've ever seen one. Let's just get a nice angle. And there we go. That'll do it. That'll do it. Alright, ladies and gents. Thank you very much for watching. It's been my pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.